Hey, this is Chan from Different Skill, bringing you some kind of tutorial video stuff, talking about good stuff. Alright, so a lot of people have seen that we play Japanese cards. That means our sets are above the English sets. We can play things like this, and things like this. But, like, of course, if I say something like, oh, this card's not that good, like say, I don't know, I say X card is not that good, and then some people's response to me is, well, you guys can play better cards. But today I'm here to briefly explain on some Kagero choices that you can make. So right now, Kagero has Dragonic Overlord, the Dragon Monk Goku, Sealed Dragon Blockade, and Blazing Flare Dragon. Now these are the main four level 3 Vanguards you can have. So yeah, I picked one of these up just to make this video. I hate this card. Okay, so first of all, let's go through the pros and cons of all of these. So first of all, Dragonic Overlord. He is 11k. His ability sucks. It's his Eternal Flame ability allows him to attack a rear guard, and if that rear guard is retired, he can stand up again. This ability is bad in the Vanguard zone because you lose a 2 in drive check, but in the rear guard, it's quite effective because it'll give you at least a +1 because it'll force your opponent to block something that they don't need to block, and then if they let you hit it, then you can attack again, and they'll probably block the other one. Very simple stuff. Okay, now Blazing Flare Dragon as your Vanguard. He can Soul Blast 5, and he can retire 1 rear guard on your opponent's side of the field. So, yeah, that's a pretty basic ability. His passive is that whenever a rear guard is sent to the drop zone in the main phase, he gets +3000. So overall, it's not a bad card. I would say that there are better choices, but if this is all you got, then this is what you should be using. Next we have Sealed Dragon Blockade. His ability is that in the Vanguard zone, your opponent cannot intercept. Now that's the only ability he has, and he has a 10k. It's pretty weak. So, and you have the Dragon Monk Goku. His ability is when you trigger check at level 3, you can retire 1 level 1 or lower grade 1. So right now, you can, like with just these plain abilities, you can see that this Sealed Dragon Blockade, he's not very viable right now, because even if they do have interceptors, you play it, what else is it helping you? Like, you can't intercept, so you can't change your field. So what? Like, unless they have like really bad cards, like say they have a Tejas boosted by an Aramo that attacks for 14, and then on the other side they got like Relentless Sutherland boosted by, I don't know, a Draw Trigger. So they have pretty crappy attacks, and if they can't intercept, they have to kill their own card. Yeah, you might as well just play this, and hopefully you can lock them down. But overall, this card has very little play potential, so this card it's probably not your first choice. And now, back to these three guys. Dragonic Overlord. So, in the current meta right now, you got Royal Paladins, Nova Grapplers, Kagero, and Oracle Think Tank. Now, Kagero, you can't attack for too high amounts like Paladins can, with like Boars and the King of Knights Alfred. So, simply, you gotta think about what your matchups are. If you play against an Alfred, Alfred's maximum growth potential is 20k. So he attacks with Alfred with his full field. You can block this for 15, which is basically a normal block, because your 11k prevents him to be able to abuse you. Now, let's say you're playing against CEO Amaterasu. I don't have one with me, okay? So, CEO Amaterasu. They have 4 cards in hand. It's a 14k, and they have a Gemini behind it. Well, that Gemini is a problem, so you should probably use something in the Kagero section, like Kimnara, Berserk Dragon, to snipe out their, like, one-ofs, their 8k Gemini. So, say, what if they put a Cocoa behind it, or a Chocolat, or maybe a Milk? Then, okay, so they have a 6k booster behind their 14k. That's a 20k. That is no different from Alfred. If they have Milk, then yes, it would be a problem. But most people don't run that because the effect is quite situational. But if they are, same thing. You run, like, that's why people like to run 4 Kimnara. You get the choice of sniping out pesky things. So they attack you for 20k, block for 15. See, and that's why Overlord right now is a pretty good card in the meta. he can help you counter a lot of annoying things, such as, okay, another example is Boris the Negative Conviction, and I think I have one with me. I'm gonna go look for it. His ability is that, oh, here it is. His ability is that if you have, if you counterblast one while he attacks, he can gain plus 3,000 power. So say your opponent has a Boris, and then they have a Maron, and then he attacks with Maron and counterblast. That's attacking with 21. You have to block for extra. That's a pesky card. Snipe this guy out. Say he plays, oh, I play Soul Guiding Elf and attack. He can't do anything now. It's just like, oh, block for 10. Even if he counterblast, he needs counterblast 2. One for this, to make you block for 21. Now, that might seem like, oh, but that's pretty situational. I mean, I don't always have Kinara in my hand. Well, that's why you have Conroe, and you run 4 Kinara. Like, I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying it's pretty common that people run 4 Kinara because controlling their back row is more important than controlling their front. I mean, I can think of a lot more 10k beaters than there are 8k boosters. I mean, for example, like Butterfly Knight, Boars, Galatine. How many 8k boosters do you have in Paladins? 1. You got a Maron. You gotta have 4 of those, right? If you damage check 1, or say he rides 1, that's 3 left in the deck. So you have an easier chance to snipe other stuff. So he's a very good defensive card. If your opponents are kinda iffy on like how good they are in making magic numbers, this card can definitely help you a lot. He basically blocks most of the good cards in the meta right now. Okay, now we go through the 2 offensive cards, the 2 destroyers, Goku and Blazing Flare Dragon. Blazing Flare Dragon's pros are you can Soul Blast 5 to kill a card. Now that gives you 1 card killed for his ability. And that only happens if you superior ride it. If you don't superior ride it, you gotta soul charge like 3 Kimnaras before you get to use the effect. Now, he gains plus 2,000 for each killed in the main phase. So if you sniped out a rear guard with an attack, he doesn't gain any power at all. So, overall, you get to kill 1 card in a situational effect. So, and you get 3,000. Yeah, that's about it. Now, Dragon Monk Goku, his abilities are almost, I wouldn't say limitless, but like, say you trigger check a grade 3. I mean, who hasn't trigger checked a grade 3? If you're running 6 grade 3s, that's too little. You probably miss grade 3 quite a few. But if you're running like 7 to 8, which is generally what I recommend, especially for Kagero, you get 6 or 7. So say you ride him and you drew 1 by accident. Like, oh no, I drew this card. Damn. Now you have 6 more. Now, okay, this is all like theoretical, but I won't make it sound dumb. If you're running 16 triggers, say in the best case scenario, you play him and you have no other grade 3s, and you run 7 of them. You have 6 more. You have 20 triggers basically in your deck. You got 6 kill triggers and 6. Wait, what the hell? Am I bad at this game? No, you got 22 triggers. You got 6 kill triggers and 16 normal triggers. Now, say, oh, okay, check. I kill your grade 1. Alright? You killed maybe a Maron. Best case scenario, you kill a Maron. Now they have to replace it. They lost a card. They need to use a card in their hand now to replace it. With Blazing Flare, okay, say with Blazing Flare you wanted to kill a Boars because it was annoying. I killed the Boars. Now what? I can't use this anymore. Its effects are basically pointless now. It's just like, oh yeah, Soul Blast 5, yeah, kill a 1 card. Now what? Okay, now with Goku, you check a grade 3, you kill something. Check a grade 3, you kill something. This guy his growth is a lot better than his. And yeah. So, this is Kagero 101. What are you guys doing here? It's Kagero 101. Just speaking about some good cards, some bad cards. Cards about the meta, how the meta's going. I want everyone to be a better player. Maybe, learn something. Say, show off to your friends. Say, like, oh, I understand this shit. I'm going to play Draconic Overlord and not play Blazing Flare Dragon. So, this is basically Kagero 101. This is just the basics, the level 3 Vanguards. There's a lot of other stuff you need to know with Kagero to make it play properly. Just like Kimnara and Eremo. When do you want to use it? When don't you want to use those? I'll go over those later. So yeah. So this is Chan from Difference in Skill bringing you Kagero 101.